So as we all know, the next character in question is going to be GINA, and this is the one character which I know we're all kind of waiting on. I'm not going to say why we're kind of excited for her, but hey ho, when she drops, I'm sure she's going to get a lot of people turning heads, we'll say that much. Now, the thing about this character is we knew ahead of time, thanks to obviously Alpha before everything went down, is that it was looking to be a light mage, a light type being a mage type character, and it was kind of interesting on how they were going to go about, setting her up. Obviously, I kind of ended up thinking that it could very well be at least like a support DPS, right? That's the idea of what I was thinking of what they could do for GINA. Just before the video starts, boys, I just want to let you guys know that, of course, GINA will be releasing in a week and a half time. So the deluxe pass giveaways for the supporters will be happening very, very soon. If you want to support your boy, it will be greatly appreciated. Obviously, if you guys do need the coupons, and going forward, because there's going to be 5 coupons in total for the Season 4 Content Creator Program, then obviously your boy will be on it. But yeah, if you need any of these codes, make sure to support your boy. Down below are always going to be the links for the giveaways for my supporters, where you can grab yourself some anniversary packs, deluxe passes packs, and free Thomas, etc. Your boy's gonna get cooking. Alright, so yeah, if you guys do want to support your boy, that'd be greatly appreciated. So if we look at where light is at right now, so this is where I was kind of questioning on, like, damn, if GINA releases as light, like, what more could we get? Because obviously, when it comes to the break options for light, I mean, you've got a plethora of options when it comes to, deciding on what breakness you need, of course. And then Min and Cheyenne together will just kind of clean up and do your big ultimate nuke, right? Because you could set that up quite nicely, along with, of course, the crit stats mirror, of course. Now, light typing is pretty much full in terms of having the complete package. Now, the one thing that we don't have for the light typing was we don't have a mage. Now, if we look at the mage lineup right now with the game itself, as you guys can see, we've got some strong mages right now being lined up. Charlotte being the latest one, of course, but DPS, 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 sub DPS. I mean, some people would also look towards Libora as a support DPS, which is valid. Choi was DPS, now with obviously Suhyun, of course, he's more in the line of a sub DPS, we'll say. The defense decrease is still pretty effective, and a lot of people are making good use of that in certain situations. Just an example being the guild boss, of course. And so with the mages on SSR variants, of course, the lineup is strong, and so it's either one or two, being she's either going to be for the light typing, either going to be DPS or sub DPS or a support sub DPS. Now, I don't know if this is going to keep or if they're going to change it last minute, but she is looking like a bit of a DPS if it's going to be light mage. If they change it last minute to make her sub DPS or support DPS, we'll have to wait and see. But it seems that GINA is going to be packing an absolute punch. But we'll see what happens. Because again, we're still a week and a half out, and the developers in the past have made changes literally hours before the updates goes live. Alright, but as far as I'm aware, light mage having the DPS powers. Pretty much, if we just forget about Libora and Choi, more on the line of how Charlotte, Suhyun, and Alicia are, of course, that type of DPS mage. Okay, so I mean, well, it really comes down to on what she's going to be doing, and whether or not, if it's kind of like, should we use her over Cheyenne? I mean, it's going to be a tough one, because Cheyenne, she slaps. And like the pair with her and Min together, like, especially if you give Min like the ultimate SR weapon, like, you can really get some good damage going. So it'll be interesting to see. And plus, Cheyenne with her skills, I mean, she can clean out houses very, very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see. Although she is a mage, so I assume GINA will have some sort of clearance in a much greater scale. So I say. But that's one thing which I just kind of briefly wanted to talk about, right? Because for the longest part, that's what we were going off with, to say that she is going to be a light typing. Let's take a look at what the light units have. She's going to be a light mage. What role could she fit? Now, word on the street is that what if she was a role that is, in my opinion, needed? One of the roles which I was actually asking for, and I was surprised on why we weren't getting anything and that we would have to wait next year for, and that is fire typing. Now, if you look at the fire typing right now, this is essentially the team, right? When it comes to the fire typing, excluding SR, because SR, yeah, you really ain't got much going on. So with the fire element, this is basically it. Now, what's the one thing that we're missing out on the fire typing? Because I mean, we've got damage, we've got power, we've got support, we've got breakness, right? We've got buffs kicking in, of course. The one thing that we're really slacking and in need of is pretty much what water typing has, what wind typing has, and what light typing has. Now, dark hasn't got that yet either. So I mean, well, dark will get it because dark is going to be getting that support after GINA. So technically speaking, dark also has it at a later time in October, at the end of October, and that is a support mage. So let's get rid of Choi, because clearly if a fire support mage does release, then it will be pretty much lined up as is like this. This is going to be the favored fire element team. Although if Choi is needed for the defense decrease, I mean, you can probably throw him in there, you know. But essentially, this is what's going to be happening. Now, word on the street once again is that GINA, fire mage, uses gravity magic, heals teammates, could also potentially add buffs onto teammates, scales off from attack. What do we think about that? What do we think about a fire mage? I mean, it's going to be, well, we're going to have double mage. Damn, wait, hold on a minute. I just realized, wait, what's the last character? Oh my god, wait, the fire element has 3 mages already. Oh my god. So a fire mage that uses, because of course she I mean, it makes sense that she's a mage, keeping up with the lore, of course. But then with her attacks, it's going to be providing us with buffs potentially, healing our teammates through the skills, and then she's scaling off from attack. What do we think about that? Now, first things first, straight off the bat, I've already said it to say that this is what the fire element is missing. This is pretty much my biggest request. I've been waiting because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm kind of trying to tick off every single full package for each element, and then we can start diving into it, back into other elements to start obviously making them more bigger. So like, once we get the fire support done and dark support is already confirmed for the end of October, then at that point on, it's pretty much just expanding the roster, expanding the element, and trying out different strategies for like water and whatnot, right? Because right now water typing is more in the core element, of course, or the strategy of the core attack, of course, and then, you know, by dropping more water typing, we can expand, because of course apparently water is going to get more expanded in December, right? So that's kind of what I was waiting on, to think that, oh, okay, we might get a fire element. And so with GINA potentially now being a fire element unit to be exactly what we're missing, because that's exactly what we're missing, I mean, I can't knock it. I can't sit there and be like, it doesn't make sense for her to be this. No, it does make sense for her to be a fire element support unit. A support mage for the fire element, because it is needed. It's the one thing that we're missing. And obviously I can't exactly say the case for the dark element, because dark element is getting their support at the end of October, and these two elements and with those roles are the final roles to have a fully loaded team for each element, right? All complete. And then of course then we can start going back over certain elements, of course, going forward. So I'm gonna just put it out there, if it is going to be GINA, if she is coming as a fire support mage, to where she's providing the heals and the buffs, to where she's also scaling off from attack, which is going to be fantastic, because then that's kind of like a support. Yeah, no, to be fair, could we not make her like a support sub DPS then at that point? That'd be pretty solid. And to be fair, it would also make sense, because of course with the shadows, if Kaisel is still keeping with the defense penetration passive, then I mean that clearly is supporting furthermore, because the defense penetration strategy right now is leaning more towards for the fire element, right? To where, well, compared to any other element, of course. So if we're fully catering to giving the fire element that complete package, it is most definitely should be coming with the next update, with GINA playing the role as a support sub DPS mage, right? And then Kaiser will be providing that defense penetration, which is going to be beautiful, because that's exactly what we need for these characters, especially with Suyun, of course. I mean, in my eyes, it makes sense, but I think I think it's still going. Yeah, I think it would, lore-wise and whatnot, it would make sense for her to be a light unit. I do genuinely still think that she is going to be keeping as a light mage, and again, from what I've heard, it's looking more to do with a light mage that is DPS orientated. So I'm actually on board with GINA being fire element, being a support sub DPS. Alright, 100%. So again, GINA, fire mage, skills, using her telekinesis and whatnot, heal teammates, potentially buff them too, so probably giving them like defense penetration and whatnot. Maybe also adding debuffs onto the enemy to drop in their defense. If she does that, it's a GG for Choi. It's an absolute GG for Choi. I'm just putting that out there. And then scaling off attack, hence why we can get a little bit of chip damage going on. It will work beautifully if they go down that route. And if that is the case, then the next update is going to heavily support and complete the fire element. And that will then probably push furthermore on for the next piece of content to involve the fire element as the next piece of weakness along with the dark element. So all of October will give us the complete support packages for fire and dark, which actually makes complete sense, and I actually hope they do that. But if it is light, then it'll be kind of if it's light, it'll be a bit awkward, but then, you know, I guess it'll make life a lot easier for people to skip and focus on Thomas. Or maybe focus on Teach, you know, get the dark support going on, since we know dark element will be catered to in terms of a weakness for Baron and whatnot. But anyway, you guys, that is where I'm going to end it. What do we think? I'm all for it. GINA Fire Mage, I'm all for it. 100%, I am down for that. I am more down for that if they don't want to make her that light mage, which I still think she is going to be a light mage, but I'm down for the Fire Mage.